Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is Tuesday, October 2nd, 2012. Thank you all for tuning in today. Let's jump right into the charts here. We'll start off with the usual S&P 500 E-mini futures. The futures are trading higher by 7.5 points right now to 1444.50. That's a decent little pop on the futures market at the moment. We did see a similar move yesterday in the market and then a fade really throughout most of the session. Yesterday to finish basically flat by the close, but nonetheless futures are starting the morning higher. When the futures are up, that usually tells us that the dollar is down, and let's take a look at the US dollar index, and sure enough the dollar is falling. So the dollar again coming under a little bit of pressure, down around 16 cents at the moment to $79.75 per contract on the US dollar index futures. And once the dollar falls, the markets inflate. That's basically how it works these days. And has worked that way for about 10 years. So perhaps one day we'll see a disconnect here or a decoupling. But right now, that is the only thing that traders should concern themselves about. Is the dollar down, then you know that the market will be up. If the dollar is up, generally the market will be down. And that's pretty much how it works. Let's take a look at a few other things out there in the news today. First, you want to talk about the European markets. They were up across the board. It's not a big day by any stretch, but they're all higher ahead of the opening bell. And you do have Italy up about 1%, and Spain is up 1.4%, and the German DAX up about 0.5%. So again, the European markets are all holding up pretty well, at least at the moment, to start the day. You also have gold trading higher by about $3. Let's take a look at the GLD, which is a good proxy for gold. The GLD is trading around 172.90. It closed at 172.29. So basically flat from yesterday's close, but it did have a nice pop. You could see here that the GLD is starting to sell off. I suspect the dollar is probably catching a bid. Let's just take a quick look. Sure enough, dollar just caught a bid right here, and you can see how gold just came back down. Gold is still an excellent indicator of inflation and deflation. Inflation when it rises and deflation when it declines. So again, when the dollar catches a bid, you will see gold start to trickle down, and that's exactly what just happened just in this past 10-minute bar. So again, we'll watch gold closely, especially if the dollar starts to rise. Gold could come in a little bit. But if the dollar starts to fall, gold should increase and inflate, as should silver. Let's take a look at oil this morning. Oil is trading higher by about 32 cents to $92.80 a barrel. Let's take a look at the USO. That is also going to generally move inverse to the dollar. The USO closed yesterday at $34.25 a share. Today it's trading at $34.36 a share. And you can see a little red bar starting right here. And that's simply because the dollar is catching a bid. Sure enough, when the dollar trades up, oil and gold will both trade lower. But in any case, oil is holding up fine this morning. Really no problems there. Weaker dollar should send oil higher, and we'll see how it plays out. Something else that traders should keep an eye on is gasoline. The UGA is sneaking right back up. If we take a look at a daily chart of the UGA, you'll see it's really not too far off the September highs now. And gasoline is probably one of the things that the president would like to keep lower ahead of the election. So if that starts to creep higher, that could be a little bit of a problem for the president's re-election bid, but nonetheless, QE3 probably has already rescued the president and put him safely back into the White House for another 4 years. But in any case, gasoline will get a lot of chatter, and that should still be followed. Again, if the dollar starts to decline, gasoline will get a bid. If the dollar starts to rally, gasoline should pull back and sell off a little bit. So we'll see how that all plays out. Again, futures are just up $7 at the moment. As the dollar caught a bid, you see how quickly the futures start to come in as well, and that's the S&P 500 E-mini futures. All right, let's take a look at some stocks in the news this morning. There's not really all that much, but one I am seeing, and I don't know what the news is. I have not checked that, but is this stock Illumina. Pretty nice little pop this morning above the $52 level. I do have some levels here that look pretty good. 52.60 is the first level. That was already tested in the, I guess, yesterday in the after hours, if that print is correct. I'd have to go back and look at time and sales. But in any case, watch 52.59. You're also going to watch the $50 a pierce of the $55 level. So maybe I would have to say somewhere around 55.50, and then you're gonna have to look at $59. So those are your three resistance levels for alumina. I'm not sure what the news is. Please check it before you try to dive in on any scalp trades, but that should be a weak gap. You should get some fade pullbacks from there, but again, I'm not sure of the news, and you just want to watch those levels: 52.59, make it 52.60, 55.50, and then ultimately $59 even number. Let's take a look at Mosaic. That is also in the news today. This is one of the leading ag stocks out there. The stock closed at 58.01. Today it's trading at 56.50. I do have some levels here. It looks like we'll have support at 55.32, 53.25, and then ultimately around the 51.15 level. So watch those areas: 55.32, 53.25, 51.17. There could be some scalp bounces on those from those levels. Let's take a look at Express. This is a retailer. This stock is just getting mauled this morning. The gap is semi-weak, so it's an all-time low though. So that's the only problem we have with it. Trying to pick off the low is very, very tough. I'm going to say right now, you're probably looking at 12, 11, and then $10. So again, you can probably look for some scalps around that level: 12, 11, and 10. This is trading. This already hit $12 twice this morning in the pre-market. So 12 is a little bit of a tough one. But if it got down to 11 even number, I think you could try it there. And also at $10 even number, you could try another one there if that happens, if you're aggressive. But this is an all-time low, and believe it or not, the stock is coming from basically it only debuted in 2011, so it's very, very tough to really pick off the where the low will be on it. But the company guided lower. It doesn't really matter really what the news is, just the fact that it is down again. So we'll see how that plays out and shakes out. If I could give you a mathematical level, and I'm just looking at it here, looking at my notes, it's a little bit tough. I would have to go probably with $10. So just to be on the safe side, that's more prudent. Ultimately, this thing may want to make its way down to $10. But like I said, you probably could get scalps at 11 and 10 and possibly even 12. So with that said, everyone, that's pretty much all I'm looking at on that one. That's a bit of a tough trade, but nonetheless, it does look like those would be the levels, the best that I could find. You do have some other news out there today. There's some other movers, but there's really no volume behind them unless there's some kind of volume. I really don't want to do too much. But one thing you have to keep your eyes out for, it looks like Spain is very close to asking for a bailout. So just keep that in mind. That's probably coming shortly. I think the market has that pretty much baked into the cake already, though. But Spain should be looking for asking for a bailout. Also, last night, Australia did cut their interest rate to 3.25%. So that's going to probably bring down the Australian dollar a little bit. I have not even looked at the Australian dollar yet this morning. I will go over that in a little while. Also, it looks like Germany is asking Spain to hold out before they ask for the bailout. How true is this? I don't know. But again, that should be the news on the horizon. Spanish bailout coming around the corner, and we'll see how it plays out. We're still dealing with Greece, believe it or not, but it's not much of a factor anymore. So we'll see how this market plays out. But Spanish bailout, that's pretty much around the corner. That's kind of a given. That should be out soon. With that said, everybody, futures are pulling back a little bit as the dollar catches a little bit of a bid. And I'll just show you the dollar real quick. You can see how the dollar catches that little bit of a bid. Futures have come off the high by about a point or so, but not really a big deal. And we'll see how it plays out once the opening bell rings. Again, keep that dollar chart up. That is the most important chart anyone can follow. If the dollar moves higher, the market moves lower. With that said, everybody, have a great trading day, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. God bless. See you then.